Well, g'day everyone, it's Warren here from NQ Explorers, and today we're going to have a little gold prospecting video. I haven't done a gold video for a while, so I've busted out our little 6-inch river sluice. This goldfield dates from the early 1860s, so it's quite an old goldfield for southern Queensland. And this creek is a perennial creek. There's lots of diggings up in this area, pothole style diggings from the old timers. And we've done a couple of relic hunting videos up there where Colin found an awesome snake buckle and a lovely old token. I'll put the links to those videos up the top, assuming I've published them already. We don't know yet. Anyway, so I'm going to set up now. I'll show you what gear I'm using, and we'll start getting some pay dirt and put it through the little sluice. Okay, we couldn't drive into the spot, we had to walk, so I've carried in just small gear actually. I've got my big Wildco pick for busting stuff up. Garrett sieve, that's about a 10mm. My old gravity trap pan, that one's done a few miles. Just a little folding shovel, a couple of little shovels just for feeding the sluice box. That's the Gold Rat 6-inch river sluice with the dream mat on it. And there's another little doohickey I've just knocked up. I'll show you this now. So I've just knocked up this little angle gauge out of a couple of bits of timber. So 1 in 10, that's about 6 degrees, 4 to 7 degrees, ideal on a river sluice. Of course that depends on the velocity of the water and the volume of the water you've got coming across it, but as a rule of thumb that's about right. So that's 200 long and I've got a 20mm drop, so that's 1 in 10. I just sit that on the side there and I use this little double bubble caravan sort of level to get it right. So that's pretty inexact science, but that'll get me close to the right angle for the machine. And then I'll feed a bit of sand through it and see how long it hangs in there, the fines, and we'll just adjust it as we go. Well, I'm pretty much set up here. I think the velocity of the water might be a bit high, but we'll see how we go when I start feeding it. I've got it about right. I'll just show you how this little doohickey works, and I'm around the 6 degrees mark and I got it level horizontally, so that's fine. I'll just show you that now. Right, that's about 1 in 10, 6 degrees. I'm just going to check it, we've got it reasonably level. A little bit low on the right, but that'll do. That'll move around as we put a bit of gravel through it. So let's see how we go. We'll get started and we'll start digging for some gravel. Phil's up there in that grassy area. There's kind of a natural riffle in there with the gravel and the small rocks coming through there. So we're going to get some pay dirt out of there and see how we go. Okay, I built a little bit of a wing dam there to divert the full force of the stream running down the sluice box. I've got a big rock to hold it in place and I've got the angle about right. Here we've got a natural rock bar coming out, which is a bit of riffle. So right on the sluice spot here, I'm just going to work this bit of sand and up into that bank. And so once we start getting the black sands and things, we know we're on the spot. So definitely a natural gold trap here though. Okay, so you can see I'm getting this grey clay. It's a sandy clay. That's stuff the gold's going to stick on that like a false bottom or above it. So I'll keep working this stuff, but I've got to work it through that sieve to make sure I break it up and that it's broken up enough to run down through the river sluice. But I like the look of that. Okay, I got about half a bucket here, probably 5 kilos of material. It's been sieved through that Garrett sieve, which is a 10 mil, I think, or 12 mil. So it's sub 10 mil, let's call it. I'll just run it through the sluice, see how it's running through there, see if it's the angle and velocity are right, and then we'll start working a lot more gravel through it over the next couple of hours. Okay, we're ready to go. I've got the bucket there, so that you can see that's all acting like a wing dam, so I've reduced the velocity of the water through the sluice. It's pretty ferocious still, but we'll see how this goes in there. Okay, well Phil's come down with his 10-inch sluice, makes my little 6-inch one look a bit inadequate, but he's got the full-size dream mat on that. That's the mini dream mat on that one. But I'm getting a nice vortex in there. It's working quite well. You just got to be careful you don't overload the smaller mat. Like obviously the big sluice can take a lot more material through per hour. So we'll continue with this and we'll see how we go. Okay, I'll just do these fines from the first run and see if we've got any colour. Righto, this is the first clean-up pan. We'll have a talk about what we've got here. Okay, here's my first clean-up. I probably ran 8 or 9 kilos through that little 6-inch sluice. I've got a lot of black sand and probably 7 or 8 tiny, tiny flakes of gold. Like, it's going to be difficult to photograph, you'll just have to believe me. But a lot of black sand, so I'm getting the heavies. The sluice angle was good, the velocity was okay. I'm getting what I want. I just got to find another spot in the creek. We'll sample a few spots and keep going. We've got all day to do it. It's a beautiful day to be out prospecting in the creek. Yeah, so we've proved the spot. We've got colour there, just colour. Nothing like a picker, but they'll be in here because we're only in the shallow surface sands at the moment. We need to get down. There's some rock crevices I can work out, and we'll get down to that later. But I've got gold on our first run. Couple of flies around here with us prospecting. Okay, I'm about 20 metres in from the creek where we've got the sluice set up. What I'm standing in now is one of the old timers holes. It's probably not really evident on the video, but this reedy grass stuff on this creek flat in that direction and that direction, and actually there's a hard rock mine just up in here, was all potholed by the old timers. So there's holes in here all through this creek flat. They're probably about between 4 and 6 feet deep. They're just shallow craters now. I'm going to walk in there and get some samples out of the bottom of one of the old timers holes and see if we can get some colour there. We're getting nice colour in that creek. Very, very fine gold, but that's all that came out of here. Not nuggety stuff. And see if we get something out of the old timers holes in behind us here and behind this gum tree. So you can see here there's significant diggings here with that old log's fallen on it, but this is quite a big, well, it's not a costeam, but it's where the old timers have taken all this creek alluvium on this flat, which extends for some distance up that way, in behind us. And they've put it through their sluice boxes in the river there, in their rocker boxes. So I'm going to go in, I'll go in here under these old logs, like that's the bottom of the old timer's hole. If you have a look in this direction, there's been a lot of working in around that bank there. It's all been worked. And there's little, basically potholes and collars all through here. Actually, Colleen's in there detecting those collars with the gold master, so we'll see how she goes. Hopefully she pings a little nugget. Well, that looks interesting. It's a clayey sand as you'd expect on a floodplain. At depth about, I went down about 8 inches in the bottom of the hole, cleaned the topsoil out of it with the modern leaf litter and stuff. It's fallen the last 150 years. And it becomes a coarse sand, fine gravel at depth. Obviously that's the alluvium they were working. So I'll run this through the little sluice. Okay, I'm not sure if you're going to see this on the camera, but there is a tiny flake of gold that just came out of the bottom of that old timer's hole. I probably dug about 3 kilos of material. I took the topsoil off and just put it through the sluice, and it was pretty clayey, so I had to break it up as I went, but gold all through that flat. Tiny, tiny little pieces of gold like that, but if you process enough material, it's worth it. So we're just going to continue with this. We'll just keep washing gravel, and we'll come back with the clean-up at the end of the video. Okay, we're going up for lunch, but I've just dug that half a bucket out of that rock bar. There's some rotten rock that goes back in a crevice sort of across the line of the creek and dipping into the flow of the creek, so could be a good little gold trap. We'll find out, but we'll keep that suspense going, go and have a bit of lunch first, and then come back and run that through the sluice box. Okay, that's the kind of colour we're getting in every pan. We've got quite a bit of it now. That's a nice little piece, that one actually. Not quite a picker, but it's one of the larger pieces. That was out of that rock crevice, and there's more tiny stuff in here, and lots of black sand down the bottom there, but you can see that. It's hard to pick that up on the video because it's so tiny. But I'll get the snuffer bottle now and we'll put it all in the pan and see how much we've got. We've only been going a couple of hours and sort of sampling here and there. It's been a lot of fun. Well, the old timers had to work pretty hard for the gold here. It's very, very fine, so they would have been processing a lot of gravel and sand in cradles mostly in this area. And some of it's a little bit clay, so that had to be broken up. It's a bit of work to do, but given the amount of workings here, a decent amount of gold came out of the place, and we haven't really done any really serious deep crevicing or sampling. This is just like modern surface stuff, if you like, that we're getting, and we've got a lot of little fine particles that are still shedding and coming down this creek, so it's been a pretty good little day out. I'll just, what I'll do, I'll empty the snuffer bottle into a pan so we can see how much gold we've got from those few runs we've done. Okay, there we go. If I can't get rid of that surface shine, you can see the gold in here. We've got some lovely little flakes. For the amount of work we've done, and given that we didn't really do any deep sampling, it shows you how much gold is just in the high level sands here. That's awesome. Hope you can see that on the video. But that was a lot of fun. And if we can, what we've got to do now is concentrate on some, we'll do some deeper digs in the old timers pits, might be the way to do it, run them through the sluice box next trip. But look at these little pieces here, they're almost like little fine wire gold. And there's some nice larger flakes in there, and we've got most of the black sand out, there's a little bit there. Awesome. Well, from me and the flies in this awesome little Goldfields Creek, nice little bit of colour there in the pan, always a great day out, just a beautiful spot to be out in the Aussie bush. Thanks for watching everybody, and happy fossicking. Bye for now.